Here's something that nobody tells you when you're first starting out making music. You don't need to know every single note to make a good melody. You just need 3, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use them. Stay tuned. My full program is in the description for any beginner who wants to go further. Let's jump in here. First off, before we even create our melody, let's put down something on the lower end. So even if you only note, we're going to just use 3 notes for this. So let's say we're using A minor, and that's going to have the notes A, B, C, D, E, F, F, G. That's all you need to know right now. Now, A is going to be our main note. You're going to hear this called the root note if you're going more technical, but you don't need to know too much about that. The A is going to be our home base. So whenever we go up, going back down is going to feel like home. So let's start with that, and that's going to be our first note. Now, another note that we're going to use is C. That's our second note. C is going to be kind of our middle ground here. And then we're going to use E. That is going to be our third note for this entire video. So, and then I want this line to be A, C, A. Actually, no. We'll do it A, C, E, A. And then I'm going to turn down my speed up here, down to like 110. And then I'm going to turn on this metronome that looks like a ring. And I'm going to press play. And then I'm going to bring this down a little bit. So I'm going to left click and select. So left click plus control. And then drag this down so that it's on the lower part. So it sounds lower like this. Okay, we've already got a low part, our main part here. Now let's actually get to making the melody. I'm going to close out of this, and then I'm actually going to use a different sound here. So I'm going to open this, go to flex. I don't know what I want to use. We'll use a pluck here. Can't really go wrong with the pluck. All right, we'll use Simpluck Cube for that. Close out of that. Right click, go to the piano roll. And then if you do not have ghost notes selected, where you see all these gray notes that are from our main strings here, because it's in the same pattern, we can go to that caret, that little, is that a caret? I don't know. We can go to that arrow, scroll down to view, and then make sure this ghost channels is turned on. So like so it has a check mark. Now you should see this. Now we're going to use the same A, C, and E in order to create our melody. Now if we go and just click the notes here. Even though we're limited by notes, we're not limited by the timing of those notes. So we could have something like that. The possibilities are still very endless, even if you're only using 3 notes. So what we can do, we can first start off with our root note. So that A, that main note, that home base. If you start with that home base, it helps to give that frame of reference to your listener, saying, hey, this is where we're starting. And you'll notice that the A's in all of the letters actually repeat, going up and going down. They just have different numbers next to them. The lower the number, the lower the sound. The higher the number, the higher the sound. And if the letters match, it's the same note, just higher or lower on the piano. So, now if we go, let's say, to A4. Or actually, let's go to A5. I like A5. Now if we just left click onto that, and then I'm going to shorten this by left clicking and bringing it in. Let's press play, make sure pattern is selected. I just use the space bar to press and pause, to play and pause. And just keep repeating that across the whole thing here. That already sounds pretty dope right there. But if we want to spice it up some more, we can try adding another note, like after that, the second line here, the second line. And I have my snapping here set to 1/4 beat, so that shows how many lines are going to be within my piano roll here. So go to this magnet thing, select 1/4 beat. Now, if we go to, let's add a C here. onto that second set of 4 here. That already sounds really, really good. Now, what if we add that E into that third box? Like this. That sounds pretty good as well. So you've got that as an option for a melody. But if we want to make it even more dynamic, what can we do? Well, first option is to adjust the timing of when each note within this melody starts. So we can move the C over 2 lines over here like this. And then we can move the ending of the note here as well. Let's move all of these C's over by 2 lines. We can also do something with this E here. Or actually, we can leave the E as it is. Now, another thing we can do, we can repeat notes within each measure here. So the measure is, you count, see how there's like a jump between 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5, all of that. Each space between this is called a measure. This is like all, and that has 4 beats in it. So notice how the metronome goes 4, 3, 4, next measure, 2, 3, 4, next bar, 1, 4, next bar, 3, 4. So whatever we do, we just want it to fit within each one of these bars here. Now, we can repeat this A and we go here. And then let's even change it up, whereas we're not repeating the exact same notes or even the exact same timings throughout all 4 of these bars. So if we do this on the 1 and the 3, it already sounds pretty darn epic. What if we actually just moved everything up or down based on what that main note is on the bottom? So I'm going to move this A up to C, this C up to E, and then this E up to A. I think. Yeah, C up to A. And then I'm going to do this, I'm going to leave this one the same as this first one here and shorten this for you guys. And then this one's going to start on the E, so I'm going to bring this A to the E, go up to the A, and then go up to the C here. And then we'll bring this up to the E. So here's how it sounds. If you notice, all of these notes are sounding good together. Why? Because all 3 of these notes are within the same chord. A, C, and E, they make up the A minor chord, and any notes within that use these 3 notes together are guaranteed to sound good. So this is why I picked this. It's the same thing with C, E, G, D, F, A, anything like that. So that is how that is the secret here. That is the 3-note rule. You can add even more notes if you wanted to. And then we can also go down. Going down is also a legal move. So I want to add this E. Let's make it here. So within this second line, or after the first thick line, I don't know. Well, in between the C and the E. And then we could just repeat this, going throughout the whole section here. Bring this E down or up to the A, because ending it on that same note that it started, that root note, is going to give it that finishing. It makes it feel like home. That home bass note, it's going to come back down and it's going to feel resolved. So let's go, and I actually want to just bring these back to E. I don't know what I did there, but There we go. Probably. So yeah, that was accidental, but even with just moving it by twos, you can get an entirely different sound. The timing of when your notes come in and when your notes start, that also makes a difference. So a lot of professionals, they have like a lot more simpler melodies than you think. They are just manipulating the note sound and the note timing in order for it to sound interesting. And then one more final thing is we can repeat notes consecutively. So if you wanted to, you can always use the split or slicer tool, and then you can just click to cut notes in half. But here's how it sounds. That sounds pretty sweet. So make sure to Control S to save this as cool melody or whatever. You can change your file, click save, and boom. We made that with just 3 notes. And you can do, if you wanted it to sound more happier, try doing it with C, E, and G. Try doing it with any combination of 3 notes and see what kind of music you can create. If you want more in-depth lessons like this, I have a full beginner program that takes you from 0 music experience to creating your first full songs. The link is in the description. I will see you in the next video. Bye!